if you cut within the first 30 seconds, it's not a film. You're not a serious filmmaker. It's not a serious picture, in my opinion. And
you gotta have 4.5 minutes.
You don't have to have 4.5 minutes, but you got to have more than 30 seconds. And this movie, I hadn't seen it for a long time, but I do have it on DVD. And fucking hell, the first cut is when the guy goes in the office.
Right.
That's the first fucking cut in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
This opening is phenomenal. It's tremendous.
Canadian movie.
This movie is tremendous. I just wanted to talk about that opening shot.
And
you sound like
the
Fred
characters
Willard
in the opening
in,
they don't finish the film. They're just there to start the film.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
This is how it ends up for them.
I know. It's bizarre because
it doesn't pay to be low rent Lance Henriksen. It just doesn't pay.
It's just
oftentimes it doesn't pay to be Lance Henriksen.
That's true too.
The amount of Canadian menace in this film is quite good, although it's Canadian.
Well,
menace.
it's all shot in Ontario.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not just shot in Ontario, it's shot in suburban Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I've literally been in a hotel or a motel that looks like the one that from the beginning of this movie. I've been in a mall
this movie that is stars basically low rent the Lance same Henriksen and low rent Jesse Eisenberg too, by the way.
That's also true.
Who's the son?
That's such an unusual choice for Cronenberg. It's like this body horror guy. Okay, we're gonna do a straight thriller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
graphic novel.
It's a graphic body horror when he
certainly does some graphic.
Yeah.
Do you want me to turn further? Do you want me to?
No, I see it.
He's got a couple things.
He's not fucking around with the blood in this thing. It's like there's some horrible headshots in this film.
Well, remember, he gets stabbed in the foot and then fucking turns around at just 45 right through the back of this dude's head, and then shows you what happens to your jaw when you get
shot with a 45
your head. Right. Yes, it's not good.
Oh yeah, it's a Cronenberg movie.
Yes, it reminds us of the Cronenberg film. Yes, exactly.
As opposed to the Cronenberg son of Cronenberg that we saw a while back.
Where instead you get to see what happens when you put a fireplace poker through somebody's jaw.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole different kind of thing. But not much.
Remember, my background for that review was just red. It was just the color red.
There's so many reasons to like this film and Cronenberg's work, but if you forget it's a Cronenberg film, or I should say just another reason I like this is because suddenly you have sex scenes that just don't stop, first of all. And
they're believable too.
Right. That's what I mean, is the realistic depiction of this physical, like encounter is so real and beautiful and weird. And I mean, on the bed when she's the fucking cheerleader, like they just start doing 69 and they don't cut away. They're just like, here we go. And then of course the fucking one on the stairs just Jesus.
Yeah.
Like,
But the best thing about the one on the stairs is after they're done, she just like pushes him out of the way.
And just fucking leaves.
No, all power to Maria Bello, man. She's definitely brought it.
She's definitely.
Again, this is our second Maria Bello film.
What's the other one?
We just saw it.
Autofocus.
Oh, that's right.
And definitionally, that means she's a better actor than Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Well, she's better than Al Pacino in the 90s and after.
This is unusual for a Cronenberg film. He's not like obsessing about the things he usually obsesses about. I guess the graphic novel thing kind of focused him a bit in terms of like telling a story.
Although the graphic novel does depart, or this departs from the graphic.
And so, in what way, Andy?
I read the summary of it. It's like it seems slightly different.
The graphic novel is grosser, actually.
I believe this is.
I just saw,
and the screenplay that was originally written was all just like mayhem.
But this was a turning point for him in terms of, because I just saw his new one this morning. And
we'll discuss that after the thing is over. But
I won't talk about that now. But him, like you said earlier, Scott, him doing because he followed this up again with Vigo with Eastern Promises.
Right.
And so
it's great because in my mind this was the worst Cronenberg movie, and then I remembered that Eastern Promises exists. So
so obviously Tad is a fan of when Cronenberg's doing the body horror,
I'm going to be completely
but I think
honest.
he's proving.
I fucking hate this movie.
I think he's proving here, and I think he's proving that he can do something else and not only do it, but do it well.
Well, that's the thing about this. It's not, there's the Fly and there's like the Brood and all it's stuff like that, and Existence even.
Yeah.
Like
Existence is fucking great. Existence is so underrated.
I know, but the thing is, these are all
the Matrix overshadowed that fucking movie, but it's
Crash is also great.
But the thing is, this is weird because this is like a straightforward thriller. This could be done by Sam Raimi. This could be done by like fucking
right. It's definitely not.
Yeah, but if it was done by Sam Raimi, it would be good.
Yeah, but the thing is, this also got him a lot of praise.
Yeah.
Somebody made it.
This got 2 Academy Award nominations.
I know. It's like he broke out with this film, and it's so not like his oeuvre.
It's almost like a band writing a hit single when they're really that's not what they're about. But this is
the Butthole Surfers Pepper of movies.
Yes.
Cronenberg. Yes.
Weird way of putting it, but that's actually not a bad way.
Pepper, and I like this.
I like Pepper, and I like this movie. Yes.
I don't like Pepper, I do like Pepper, and I hate this movie. So I saw this in the theater. Like I think the day it came out, I saw this in the theater, and I didn't know it was Cronenberg going into it. And
you might not.
Yeah, no, and I literally, I think it was shortly after the sex scene on the stairs. I was just like, I am so done with this film. Like I am so done with this, and I literally got up and left the theater.
But
I literally,
if you had a high opinion of Cronenberg and you'd known it was Cronenberg, would that have colored your opinion?
No, because I still hate this movie. Like it's just, there's something about this movie that has always felt off to me, and I finally realized, because I went back and I watched it after that. I watched it when it came out on DVD, and I finished.
Hopefully, you watched it this week. Hopefully.
I watched it this week.
Okay.
And what happened this week when I watched it is I realized what I hate about this movie is Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen can't fucking act. He can't act. He cannot act at all. And it's unbelievable how far he got in his career as a trash actor. Like
well, acting is subjective. Films are subjective. Art is subjective.
Also, mind you, the thing.
But also, he can't act.
No, Viggo.
I mean, I'll say this. When I think
look at this shit. Look at this. Look at his dumb hair. Look at his dumb eyes.
Actors, I don't necessarily think of Viggo, but it's pretty harsh what you're saying, though, right?
Yeah.
This is all dog shit.
I'll back you up a little bit in this one because Viggo is actually kind of physical presence. He's Boromir, right? No, not Boromir, Aragorn. He's this handsome dude, man, and so that does tend to lead your impression of him.
But he moves like stealth in this thing.
I know.
But we've got Ed Harris.
No, I'm not saying that as a compliment.
Ed Harris acting like
you've also got
one
of the best William Hurt performances.
William Hurt,
ever.
absolutely.
Oh, dude,
William Hurt showed up for 2 days on this movie and fucking nailed every second.
He was nominated for an Academy Award, and I used to watch William. I went back and watched all the old William Hurt stuff because he is tremendous.
He is.
R.I.P. to him.
So much.
But this kind of, I remember thinking after I saw this in the theater, in a lesser actor's hands, that writing in this role could have been really cliche.
In a lesser actor's hands, that writing
really
in this role
stupid
is Viggo Mortensen.
Well, I just mean that it's a testament to what William Hurt brings as a seasoned act, just as a presence, as an amazing. I mean, he has the gravitas, he has the seriousness, but he's also funny as hell. There's so much going on there with him.
Yeah, but I think he's better in like Heat and
William Hurt.
Heat.
The other one.
He's not in Heat.
Body Heat.
The Big
Body.
Kill.
Body.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I love and Kiss of the Spider Woman and
whatever.
Also, hopefully someone here saw Mr. Brooks.
Yes. Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks is an unbelievable movie.
It is. It's unbelievable. I'm probably gonna pick it next time, so we shouldn't talk too much about it.
I did like Pollock's part in it.
Yeah. Anyway, in that respect,
Mr. Brooks.
I think.
Well,
William Hurt does bring levity to this thing, and I was impressed by.
It's also his scene seems great because it's short.
It's 10 minutes long, start to finish, and then he gets shot and he's done.
Right.
Like
go ahead, Johnny.
I was just going to say that this movie starts off as suspense, and then to me it took a turn into comedy, and I thought it was funny by the time the movie ended.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself comparing it to there's a Out of the Past.
Okay, Out of the Past.
There's
Robert
a
Mitchum,
noir
right?
flick with
Robert
Mitchum.
and Kirk Douglas.
It does feel like that. It feels like Out of the Past. It feels like, oh God, it's not.
And where they diverged, I felt this one sort of.
Well, I think it's also a success in the sense of, because I watched it with a friend who had never seen it, and when there were certain moments where she was cheering violence, and she's not. See, that's the trick. That's the trick. Movies like this. Because she recognized it afterwards. She's all, God, why am I cheering that he just killed people?
Well, of course,
and it's like that's the point. The point is that Cronenberg is not a moron. I mean, he's a very smart dude, and he wants to explore. Okay, or he saw something in that graphic novel. Okay, why is this? There's something.
No, he never read the graphic novel. He got the script. He didn't know.
Okay, well, he saw something in the script. Then
okay,
he's like, why are we cheering when people die?
Why do we celebrate certain forms of violence, and why do we are appalled by certain other forms of violence?
Right.
I want to say two things.
Watch Barry Lyndon.
The Crane effect. Really.
I want to say two things to follow this up. The first thing is that Cronenberg cut some violence out of this specifically because he felt like the movie was starting to glorify it.
Yeah,
which I think is interesting. I think that's
for him. Yeah.
Well, no, but just in general, I think that's really
an interesting point.
as a director to look at the movie and go, this movie that's about violence. I think we're glorifying violence too much.
Yeah.
But then the other part of that is I feel like this movie plays far too much into the power fantasy of the main character. Like, I am the coolest person in the world. I can kill whoever I want. I can do whatever I want. And he essentially suffers no consequences for it.
I don't think Vigo plays it like that at all, though. I think actually he plays
But I think the movie plays
such
it
humility and humble,
I'm separating this from my opinion about his performance in the movie. I'm literally saying I think the movie plays it that way. I think the movie says,
is it for you, why is this not okay here, but it's okay in, say, John Wick? The guy
because John Wick is obviously a fantasy. It's a thing that exists in an alternate universe.
It's a surreal world that doesn't.
Right.
But you know what I just thought about when
it's abstract.
When we were talking, Tad, was like, what if Paul Verhoeven would have directed this picture?
If Paul Verhoeven had directed this, it would have been better, but I still don't think I would have liked it.
Now, halfway through, they would turn into a robot.
Just an interesting thought.
The robot vengeance thing against the guy.
Yeah, no. I think it would have been a better movie if Verhoeven directed it. I just don't think it would have been good even then. I think the source material for this is not good enough for me.
I think that the other thing my friend said who'd never seen it, there was one point, and it was pretty far in. She said, "I have no idea where this is going," and that's a great comment.
That is good. That's
because she was genuinely like. She was surprised around almost every corner.
Although after he kills, after he kills, what's his name?
Probably after the fight in the yard, it's a little. But
it's like, oh well, we know where this is going. He's just going to go to Philadelphia and he's going to kill those people too.
Well, let's stop for a moment and talk about Ed Harris's performance because I
so
thought
good.
That
so good,
and it was amazing.
This scene is the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. Joey. I would say the Joey thing is the best.
Oh no, I think this part where he rolls down the window.
This scene drops you into this mysterious place.
I just think this movie where he rolls down the window and the cop is trying to be all big man.
That was pretty good too. That was good too.
And he's just like, oh no, we're just tourists. And it's like, well, no, what are you here for? And he's like, nothing. Like, it's fine. Like,
yeah, I heard the coffee was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, the coffee is really good.
Was good.
Damn.
Well, Ed Harris. I mean, it's Ed Harris, dude. He doesn't.
Ed Harris is Ed Harris.
Ed Harris is good.
I love him in anything. He read the phone book, basically.
This to me was like the turning point where he started playing villains, and I love the Right Stuff, Jarhead Square,
Mr. Clean Marine.
Yes, the Abyss. His character in the Abyss. I love
the Abyss.
I love both versions.
He's a good guy. He is. He's a good guy.
Good at both.
But he's been so many. He's been playing, Westworld and everything. It's just like, oh, come on, man! I want Jarhead, nice guy, square.
But his character in Westworld isn't.
John, I'm backing you up, man. I agree.
His character in Westworld isn't even the most villain in any of the scenes.
He's pretty villain.
His little monologue in The Abyss made me cry, dude. When he's trying to get her to come back to life.
Yeah, I know.
Oh fuck, that's just such a.
How about Apollo 13?
Yeah.
Dude, forget it.
Every fucking moment that he's on screen.
But in Abyss, he's like, "God damn it, you bitch, you come back!" Like, I'm just in tears, dude.
No, seriously, in Apollo 13, you're actually hanging on to this every word because he's kind of like the moral center.
He's the narrator of the movie.
Yeah, I'm with John though. I wouldn't mind if he did a nice role. It's coming up or something.
But he didn't.
I formed my opinion of Ed Harris early with Knight Riders, and so I never want to.
Well, that's the end of this show.
I want to see
you, John.
I only
Knight Riders.
on.
I'm out.
You write the time code down this one. That was good.
You had to bring that up.
You had to bring that up. Exactly.
I'd almost forgotten.
I try to forget, but it haunts me.
828 Knight Riders.
No.
No.
All right. Good
No,
enough.
I denied that one too.
Anyway,
We're not going to give John credit for fucking Knight Riders.
But no, I thought it was just it's an unusual Cronenberg film, and I thought you guys would get a big kick out of it because it is. It's
I
tidy.
love this movie.
I enjoyed it, Scott.
Thank you.
Although I don't think I enjoyed it as a Cronenberg flick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird.
it's
It's,
different.
almost like a non-Cronenberg flick.
Yeah.
I like
It's
so
like-
much of the acting in this movie.
You know what,
I'll
Sam,
give,
you know,
like
ever
I'll
seen-
give it a pass for that. Like
You know
I
what,
love
Sam, you know,
I
that's
love the acting.
A Simple Plan by Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would never know that was a Sam Raimi film.
True. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not very similar to this in a lot of ways.
He followed this up with Eastern Promises. That was his next film, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is
correct.
trash.
I didn't.
No,
I saw
it's
the
got the
trailer.
best. It's got one of the best fight scenes ever put on film.
Viggo
It's
again,
Viggo
right?
Mortensen in a sauna,
Oh my
butt ass
God.
naked, fighting another butt ass naked dude. Dick's flailing about. They're beating. They're trying to
Good
kill each other,
Lord.
and he does.
I remember
It's
amazing.
all of that, and
Solid.
you're right. That's a good fight scene. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie that surrounds it is garbage.
All right.
You're just unfortunately Chris is not here to put up the
No.
you're wrong.
Let's hear from
but
Chris.
before we hear from Chris, I will say one more thing about this,
Okay.
which is maybe getting kind of personal, but also this movie has a really good depiction of bullying in high school.
Oh, dude, yes.
And so
I love that scene.
That was
so
great.
I was, this is getting a little personal, but I was severely bullied in high school, and it took me a long time to really process that and understand that.
Mhm.
And I was exactly Viggo's son in this. It was always a bigger kid, however, and I never, unfortunately, beat the shit out of them like he does later in this picture. But I was the kid going, "Yeah, man, I'm a fag. I suck. You could beat me up."
That's
awesome,
the best.
dude.
That's the best scene in the movie.
It's
that
such good
part-
writing. It's so accurate, but because I was a good talker and I could talk my way out of fights. And what this movie does is when the guy just wants that kid to do something, so it gives him a reason. And he goes, "Well, fuck you then," and like walks away. That happened to me almost on a daily basis, where I could talk my way out of it, make somebody look like a jackass, or make him look like, because it was always bigger kids. And it was a really horrible experience for me almost on a daily basis. And I thought, oh my God, here's a movie that actually got that right. Like
when
really
everyone
good.
laughs when he says that, and everyone laughs, and then
Yeah.
the bully's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And he like
Yeah, it's like
exactly
he
his
lost
buddy.
it.
that,
That's
exactly. That's what happened.
But it's
And-
not really wish fulfillment. It's not.
But
him
his
getting away with it.
buddy, but his buddy is the one who shoves him back into the fight
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the second scene in the hallway, which causes him to beat the fuck out of that guy.
Mhm.
Well, and
And
I
it's
wish I
like-
would have tried that. I probably would have been whooped, but at least I would have stood up for myself. And I
Oh,
have
man.
deep regrets about that kind
If
of
I was up against my tormentors in high school, I would not be here today. I'd probably end up like dead. It's like these guys are big, man.
Or you end up as a fucking school shooter.
Yeah, we pretty
Yeah,
much.
you end
I
up
was
as
just
like or
I
just
was
a violent
tiny, I was a
person,
tiny little
drug
freshman.
addict
These
or
guys are
something.
tremendous football players, and that was a bad combination.
Yeah, it's literally Jeremy.
Also, I want to talk a little bit before we jump to Chris's thing about the very end of the film. I loved the very end of the film.
Worst part.
Because
That's
it
what
was-
actually sinks it the worst.
No,
for me.
it was like, here
he
we
comes
go.
home?
It's like we
Yeah.
are all sitting at a table. We all know, everyone knows around the table exactly who they are and where they are and what
Except
they
the daughter. Except the
Except the
daughter,
daughter.
who
Except the
is
daughter
stuck in
who was
that
being
His
really-
world.
they're trying to
daughter, why
explain-
did they like?
No,
dye her hair
I like
blonde?
that too, because I think it's because the film, it seems to me, takes the place of what can be said. If anything can be said right now, it's going to ruin everything. So we're not going to say anything,
Yeah,
and we're just going to show you.
I know. And the film runs out of the camera at that point. It's like, well,
I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was
it
beautiful.
was great. And you had to kind of imagine what the conversation was going to be in your head when the film ran
Right.
out.
And you know that after the film ends, there's a talk between Maria Bello's character and his character at some point, but we didn't
Or
see
not.
that.
Who knows? We don't know. It's
We don't
great.
know.
They had that talk when she throws up in the bathroom in the hospital.
Oh, Her performance there was so good.
That's the talk. Like,
yeah.
Also, the most Canadian Philadelphia I've ever seen.
Yeah, they weren't trying very hard.
Yeah, they weren't.
Our direction was kind of exactly.
But the Maria, I actually do want to go back to Maria Bella's performance in this too, because I think she is so good in this movie.
Good.
Like,
really good.
Like, she's somebody who, unfortunately, I feel like her career overall was kind of lost in this era. She was really good on ER. She was really good in Payback, and then she did this.
I love Payback.
Yeah, she's so good in Payback. Like, it's like,
well, she's like fearless, and you can tell here.
Well,
she'd be a Marina Baccarin in our times, you know, like playing the girlfriend in Deadpool and stuff like that. Like, she would be that kind of
well, the problem is that
actress.
She got big. She got on top in her mid-30s, and Hollywood's unforgiving.
And then she also turned out to be bisexual, and Hollywood.
I wouldn't think it would have mattered, but
Hollywood really doesn't like bisexuals. They like lesbians and they like straight women, but they don't like people who cross that border.
Okay. That's too bad, because she has an arresting face and as amazing. She was the best part of
Chops.
Coyote Ugly is the worst film I've ever seen in my life, and she actually brought it. One thing it brought to life.
Yeah,
she's great in that film.
She's also, like Denzel. You can be in a shitty movie, but you give a good performance.
Yeah.
Also, I want to mention one other really quick thing, which is like the ADR in this movie sucks in a lot of places. But there's one point in the movie where the ADR is amazing, and it's when they're getting out of their car at the house and they're starting to walk in, and the reporter comes up and starts talking to
she's
him.
Like, do you want to fucking?
Yeah, and she is ADR'd and he is not.
Wow.
And I don't know if that was intentional or serendipity, but she sounds like someone on a soundstage and he sounds like somebody in the real world. And it's a really good dichotomy that they have in that, where, again, a lot of it up to that point has been about how the media has created this weird circus around them. And then there's this disconnect between the two of them when that's happening. And I thought that was really cool. And again, it could be serendipity, but I also thought it was really interesting when I was watching it again this time.
It worked.
All right,
okay, now give us Chris's thoughts.
We do Jim's corner yet?
Did we do Jim's corner?
Fuck Jim.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like that guy. We should bring him back.
I never liked him.
Oh
no. He was like Randolph Scott.
Well, now you know how we feel, Jim, when you tell us to go fuck off.
I've got something for
because you finally said it to yourself.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right.
I haven't seen this for a number of years. I remember liking it a lot at the time, slightly less this go round.
Wow.
Initially, other than gratuitous blood and guts close-ups, you wouldn't even know this was a Cronenberg movie, even accounting for the ever so slightly subversive way he plays with the audience's appetite for sex and violence. This is weirdly pulpy movie in terms of tone, swinging wildly from scene to scene, and I'm not sure it's totally successful. The standout performances are Maria Bello, Ed Harris, and William Hurt.
Yep.
This time around, I found Viggo Mortensen's take on the lead extremely odd and mannered, in the 20-something actor playing high school kid irritated me way more.
That's true, he was.
You and Chris are on the same page, Dad.
In my opinion, ruining nearly every scene he's in.
Uh-huh.
Still,
they're on the same page.
They are on the same page.
They are.
I want to point out. I want to point out. I did not read this. This is the first time I've.
Okay.
Sure.
Still, it moves briskly. The finale with Hurt is hilarious, and I think this movie works well with a transition moment into the next few Cronenberg films, which were further from body horror stuff he got famous for. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, what's our thumbs, gentlemen?
You know, I was enthusiastic, and now I'm kind of halfway up.
My thumb is down, but slightly less down than it was the first time I saw it.
Anybody could have done this film. It's weird.